Hi everyone, it's Marie here from Skeins, and I thought I would pop in and say good day before I headed off to Gisborne later in the week. And it's really gloomy here in Hawke's Bay. It's been super gloomy all weekend. Loads of rain yesterday, and I know loads of places around the country were a little grey, a little gloomy, and definitely very, very wet, particularly the upper parts of the North Island. So I spoke to the girls this morning and we thought, well, what can we do to brighten people up? I've worn my nice bright pink Miss Jane today, which I knitted for Knit August Nights a couple of years ago, and this colour is very near and dear to my heart. It is it's actually a vintage pearls yarn spun by us but dyed by the incredible Miss Maureen Mackenzie, and the colour is called Marie, named after me. So I'm very fond of this. This is one of my absolute all-time favourites, and it was my third Miss Jane ever knitted, so absolutely love it. And I've worn it quite deliberately because I want to brighten everybody up today. And also I've got lots of things to tell you about things that are happening this week. So first off, if you have been sharp-eyed over at Instagram and here on the page a few minutes ago, you may have noticed that I popped up a cheeky wee special. Yes, cheeky wee special. And it's because it was a bit gloomy and a bit meh. We thought, well, right, Moody Hues. We're going to get the Moody Hues up to brighten your day. And just to refresh your memory, here's the Moody Hues here. And Moody Hues is our possum blended recycled yarn. So this yarn, we've done this yarn before in the past, which has been in fixed quantities. And in fact, my very ever first Miss Jane that I knitted, just so you know, I've done 6. So I've got a few, but my number one that I ever knitted was in this yarn, in this Moody Hues. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? And this Moody Hues yarn is one that we've gone and done. It's a recycled blended yarn. So it's a yarn that we have done, that we have made using premium merino, fine merino that we've had left over. And in fact, the majority of the merino that we've used in this has been left over from our silver lining, and some of it in the Heritage Organic collection, so really beautiful. And actually I think there's even a whiff of Polworth in there as well. So it's predominantly superfine merino with a little bit of superfine alpaca as well, and then 15% possum. It is absolutely delish, beautiful, and we already have it at a sharp price every day, and we do that because it is a recycled yarn. We can, but today and today only, it's only $5.95 a ball. Yep, cheaper than what it was in the sale. You're not going to see it at this price ever again, well, not this year at least. So that is an incredible special. So if you've been looking for something really wonderful and special for a project, definitely can do the Moody Hues today. So just to give you an idea, for Miss Jane, which I'm wearing in the size that I'm wearing, which is a 42 inch, and I'm a size 22 in real life, you'll need 10. If you're wanting to do longer sleeves and longer length, you'll need to go up to 12, but most people who are a wee bit smaller can get it out in 8. So it's really a fantastic buy. So if you need to stock up, you want some wonderful winter knitting, or you're wanting to knit for your can jumper, grab some today, because only today, $5.95 a ball. And speaking of can, registrations, Knit August Nights, for those that don't know, Knit August Nights is my other crafty life that I do, and that is opening tomorrow. Registrations are opening tomorrow. So knitaugustnights.co.nz, that goes live at 10 a.m. And I've been beta testing the form. That's all looking tickety-boo. And yes, so fingers on buzzers, people, tomorrow. It's pretty bonkers. I will warn you, it is pretty bonkers when it opens. Make sure you check out the classes if you're wanting to take classes. If you are wanting to take classes, that's what goes bonkers in the short term, is people booking up those classes. It's like buying tickets to a rock concert, I'm told. However, if you're just wanting to register to attend the event and go to some of the other free events that you don't require pre-ticketing for, don't panic. You can do it later in the day or in the next couple of days, you'll be fine. But definitely, if you're wanting to book classes, those really popular classes go super fast. And I wouldn't be able to do Knit August Nights without the support of of Skeins. Skeins is the principal sponsor, and the team here are amazing, and they help me out with the event. And also too, I've got wonderful sponsors like the Holland Road Yarn Company, Vintage Pearls, and they really do a wonderful job alongside, my local people like the East Pier Hotel and Crown Hotel. They're just wonderful. So if you're wanting to come to Cannes, I've got 3 international tutors this year, the sock matician, Nathan Taylor, and we've also got a special day with Nathan. And so if you want to come in a day early, he is doing a full one-day masterclass for 15 lucky people. So those tickets will be available tomorrow. And then he's doing 4 classes across the weekend, along with Georgie Nicholson from Tiki Knits. Now, tomorrow sparks the start of Milo May, which has been a hugely popular knit-along that she does every year. People knit the popular Milo vest. Well, Georgie will be back teaching again for her 4th year. So if you want to catch up with her and see what she's got on offer, she's amazing. I've also got the lovely Claire Devine doing sock classes. She's South African via Queensland, Australia, and she's fresh from teaching at Edinburgh. We've also got Morag McKenzie back, Nanette Cormack is back, Sue Schroeder is back, Frances Stahl is back, the wonderful Libby Johnson is back. So there is plenty there to check out at Knit August Nights. Now, segueing and speaking of Libby, if you follow Libby or her Truly Myrtle page, you may have noticed that she has released a couple of patterns, 2 patterns in 2 days, in fact. And she's been doing a bit of work for the Tandy Wool Company, which is based in Australia. And Tomat Tandy is a lovely chap. We have spun his yarn here, and he has had his premium Polworth yarn plus his other yarns, beautiful fibre, and he has had spun and made into gorgeous, beautiful yarn called Origins, which is, if you look him, he's on Facebook, Tandy, Tarndie, so do check him out. And Libby has released 2 stunning patterns for him. So you're saying, Marie, why are you promoting this other guy? Well, A, because it's cool what they're doing. B, we spun it here, so we kind of feel like we, have had a little bit of love go into this yarn. I saw the yarn before it went out. Really beautiful colour palette that reflects the environment in which the yarn has come from. And the patterns that Libby have released is amazing. The first one is called Piper in a DK Polworth. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Just beautiful ribs, rolling cables, just a snuggly, want to get in yarn. It's done in a DK, so if you you're not keen to pull yarn out from away, as you know, we've got plenty of DKs, including a Polworth that would look great in that. And the second one, which I didn't print a picture of, but tardy of me, is called Maycroft, which is a gorgeous wrap, potro style wrap with tassels, retro but funky and contemporary, and that is done in a sort of 4-ply fingerling weight. So they are both available at the moment. Libby is, if you've ever knitted Libby's patterns before, they're brilliant. They're really well written, very wearable. We did Oatmeal as a knit along as part of the group last year. Gosh, yes, not last Christmas, the Christmas before. So they're brilliant. Just love them. They're awesome. So do check that out. And she's teaching 2 classes at Knit August Night, a Knit to Fit class, which is brilliant. It is a way to get your measurements right for adult garments. And the number of people I've seen on the speakeasy who are terrified of knitting something for themselves because they don't want to do all that work and then it doesn't fit. And you know what? I fell into that camp as of 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. I honestly had knitted stuff for me and I was endlessly disappointed. And it is really good to be able to do a class like that. I actually read a book called Little Red in the City by Isolde Teague that changed my life in terms of how I measure myself for garments. And Libby has taken that to a class as well. And it's, don't let that fear hold you back, because once you're able to start knitting for yourself and you can start appreciate your own efforts or crocheting for yourself, it makes a huge difference. So she's teaching that again. What else have I got to talk about? Oh, actually, while we're talking about knit-alongs, I'll do that now. Something beginning with C, that has been our knit-along across over at the Skeins Speakeasy, and we've been having oodles of fun with that, and I am loving what people are coming up with in terms of what they're knitting with C. Some of them are really quite funny. I apologise for my crass cushion that I put up on the main page yesterday, but sometimes you just get content gold sent to you, and I couldn't help myself because I was feeling a bit naughty, and so I put that up. So I'm sorry about that. But it's quite funny. Just, have a sense of humour with it. But I put the randomiser over the page, and I came up with Rachel Martelli. Congratulations, Rachel. Fantastic post. She's knitting in some Chatswood, and she obviously lives in dairy country because there's this gorgeous image of her sitting there with the dairy cows looking on of what she's knitting in some Chatswood. So we've got this gorgeous little prize pack there, beautiful beanie and mitts, and the orb yarn to go with it. So I'll be in touch, Rachel, and that will be going out to you. We're going to keep that knit along going. Everyone is having such a good time. I'm not going to roll it out at the end of this month. I think we can keep it chugging along for at least another couple of weeks, and then I need to see what else captured. I've got a couple of patterns percolating away. I just need to make a decision and see which one we're going to go to next. But that's been fun, heaps of fun. Everyone's enjoying it. So it's not too late. Post up. Every post, I'm still going to be doing these random draws, so don't panic. Later this week. So I'm here today, and I'll be here on Wednesday, and then I am heading very sparrows fart at first thing Thursday morning. I will be driving up the road to Gisborne to do the Creative Fibre First Light Fibres event, which is held there, and there's over 250 people coming, and it is the education event for Creative Fibre. Haven't done a Creative Fibre event for ages and ages, so I'm really looking forward to it. And for those that don't know, Gizzy's my hometown, so I'm a good Gisborne girl, and so it'll be nice to head back and see the whānau and catch up with everybody, and also see plenty of those Creative Fibre people that I get to see around the traps, and I'll then get to see them again, a lot of them at Wool Feast at the end of May. So I'm getting 2 bites of the cherry this month. It's really exciting coming up. So if you are heading to Gisborne this week, do pop over and say hi. I will be there. I'm going to be bringing Moody Hues with me, but not at $5.95 a ball. So if you're going, buy it now at $5.95 a ball today. But I am bringing Moody Hues. I am also bringing the new Albertine, which I've showed before. I'm halfway through my poncho rack. I've spent loads of time on it yesterday, so you'll see me feverishly knitting away on that up there. And I can't even remember what else I've got on the list, but I've got I'm bringing about vintage. I haven't taken vintage on the road for ages. Vintage needed a road trip, so I'm taking vintage on a wee roadie to Gisborne. I think it will like it. It's one of our older ranges, and it's great. So I am bringing vintage to Creative Fibre. Doesn't get to go out very often, so I thought that would be quite nice for it. So I'm bringing that too. So I'm bringing, lots of fun, interesting bits and bobs with me. So do go, come and check that out. I think I'm all fine. I think I'm bringing that as well. So that is all there. But last but not least, and I've been working on this. Started this actually over the weekend. I've been doing a little bit of crochet, and I've got one finished over here, and you're thinking, what on earth is she doing? Crocheting flowers. Now these are the flowers from the Frida Crown pattern. You may have remembered the Frida Crown that I did, I think it was the end of last year, and that is a pattern from Alia Bland, aka the Little Bee, and it's this gorgeous flower crown. And I made it using the cottons that we had in the importer's clearance. But look at those. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Isn't that gorgeous? And this one that one's a work in progress. As you can see, the pink is, wow, look at that pink. This is why I'm doing the wee flowers. I'm going to Instagram these so you can see them, and I'll pop them up on the page. What I'm playing around with there is pearl. What is pearl, you ask? Well, pearl is, we had 3 recycled blends that we are doing this year. Chatswood was the first. Moody Hues was the first. which we did at the end of last year. Then we did Chatswood earlier this year, and Pearl was the last in that trilogy of recycled blends. And Pearl is something really quite special. Pearl is made in the same construction as Orb. So that is the twist on twist yarn. So that's very fine single plies that are twisted together and then twisted together again in the same direction to produce a really wonderful, smooth, cylindrical yarn. So the good thing about that is that you get wonderful, wonderful stitch definition, a beautiful smooth fabric and stocking stitch, and it's I really, and it's got a good structure to it. Like it's like a set of, it's like having a good bra, ladies. It's like popping a good bra on and everything sits where it should. That's what Pearl yarn is like. It is. The stitch definition is fantastic, and it holds itself. It's brilliant. So what is in that? Some more fine, very fine merino has gone in there, so sub 18 micron merino. There is, so it's predominantly merino actually. There's a little hint of nylon in there just to help with its structure. And then the last ingredient in there is also some silk. In fact, you can't really see it on this because this camera is so rubbish, but in the deeper colors you can actually see sort of tiny little white flecks, and that's the silk. And it's not machine washable. We've been quite deliberate about that, but it is just this wonderfully structured yarn. So that's why I've done these crocheted flowers, because as you can see, the flowers are actually holding their shape and their structure. So imagine what that's going to do in knitted form. So it's great for crochet. Unbelievably soft, smooth, fabulous. And we've themed it. It's called Pearl. The range is called Pearl, and there is a series. All the colors are basically taken from the Pacific Islands. So that's been my mood board, as it were, are all colors around our beautiful Pacific basin. So the beautiful pink there is called Bougainvillea. The yellow in between, and in fact, that there with the white and the yellow was the yellow is called Tiare, and the white is I can't quite remember what the white's called, but it's basically for frangipani flowers, you know, that you find everywhere in the islands. And there is the most gorgeous, stunning oyster shell color, and another sort of soft, literally white sand color, and the blue is beautiful, 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 beautiful. So those are the first three shades that have just come through the dye house. I've literally swiped them from balling. They're not even balled yet, they're just caked. And the other colours are on their way through. So those are coming soon. So that's something to look forward to. And in fact, I'm hoping, beyond hoping, that I will have both Albertine and Pearl to take to Wool Feast in Auckland. So that's my plan at this stage. So that's really it. That's what I've got to rabbit on about. So the big things to remember again, Knit August Nights, if you're wanting to get yourself registered tomorrow, it opens 10 a.m. sharp, and you can register over at knitaugustnights.co.nz. If you're wanting to book classes, definitely book the classes quickly. And Moody Hues, today only $5.95 a ball, $3 off. You're not going to get that price. So if you're wanting to get some yarn together for a Miss Jane or something special, definitely stock up on that today to have in the stash, because you're not going to see that price again this year at all. So in the meantime, I hope you, hey, who's got kids? Who was so excited to get them back to school today? Oh, I was. Boy, was I what. They weren't so keen. Boy, mum, she was really happy. So to all those mums out there, you can sit back and hopefully either on your tea break have a cuppa, or if you're at home, put your feet up, have a cuppa, get the knitting out, because you've deserved it. You've deserved it. But I'll catch up with you after Creative Fibre, and I'll let you know how that went. In the meantime, stay warm, stay dry, knit on.